In my last video, I discussed what young professionals can do to make a success of their practice in the construction industry. However, there are other issues that face these young persons that need to be addressed. There are other issues that, when not addressed, they will not be able to make much progress in the industry, irrespective of the efforts they put. These issues are two that I'm going to address today. One is very basic, it's a grassroots problem. We have a lot of young graduates who come out of school and they don't seem to have any zeal to practice. What could be the problem? The background where they were trained. They were trained by lecturers who themselves do not have that zeal, the fire in them to practice. When a young professional is taught by someone who doesn't see a need for him to practice, who has lost all interest in practice, or who doesn't have any practical experience of what he's doing, the obvious thing is that it's going to rub off on the young professionals who's teaching. We have a situation where some lecturers teach young professionals in 2024 with notes, lecture notes of 20, 25 years ago. How are these young professionals at graduation, how are they going to measure up with what is happening in the industry in this 21st century, or even face things in the 22nd century? There is no way, because there is nothing to show from their own end, especially in terms of knowledge. Again, we'll find a situation where, because lecturers do not have practical experience, there is nothing to show when teaching these young ones. And so they seem not to find any need or any push to want to go to practice, because even those teaching them are not practicing. So this is a call for lecturers to see the need. One, to teach these young ones updated information. There is nothing there for lecturers to go update themselves on the latest happenings in the industry. The industry is going haywire. A lot of things are happening. The industry has left the traditional way of doing things. A lot of other things are coming up in the new way of doing things. If lecturers are not updated in this way, there is no way they will groom and churn out young graduates who are updated with information of what to do. And again, if lecturers do not have practical experience, there is really nothing to teach these young ones, because when you're teaching them, in the industry is a practical industry, and when you're teaching without any practical experience that you've had in the industry, it is very difficult to make any point or impact on these young ones. So there is a need for lecturers to engage themselves in practice so that they can have practical knowledge to share with the young ones they are training. And there is a need for lecturers to be updated with information in the industry so that the information they pass to these young ones will be updated information. These will create an environment for them to come out from the universities and they are aglow in the spirit to want to practice. The next has to do with mentors or employers of labor. Granted, in my last video, I had encouraged young ones not to go seeking to be paid a lot of money, especially under a mentorship program, at least until they have what to present, add value to organizations where they work for. But the reality is this: some of these young persons have families and they will take care of their families. So irrespective of the fact that they are learning, but they also need to earn something with which to take care of their families until the time when they have become big enough for you to pay them big money and for them to earn as much as they desire to help their families. So if you are not encouraging them, no matter how small it is with what you pay them, but when considering that, you need to look at the fact that, does this person have a family? What is his background? These are some of the things that can inform you as a mentor to look at how to help these young ones, encourage them by what you pay them. It is worse when these young persons are working so hard in organizations and they see that these organizations are making money, but nothing is paid to them because they are looked at as those who are still learning and not moving. Nobody is asking that they should be paid large amount of money, but reasonably, especially in the times we live in, it is reasonable to at least pay them things that can sustain them, especially when we have them. Again, mentors should talk to young persons working with them to encourage them. There is a lot of achievements, a lot of achievements that is made when we encourage young ones by words of mouth and encouragement. We can tell them our stories of how we suffered, how we went through, how we learned, and how we have succeeded. This will help them know where they are and what they are expecting in the future to come. So there is a need for mentors and employers of labor in the construction industry to step up in the way they treat those who work for them. Encourage them. In fact, there is nothing wrong in giving them way. Maybe you have some little jobs and you ask them to do it and let them be paid for such. When they see such, it encourages them, it moves them to see that there is something to do. And the reality is that these young ones, by the time you have encouraged and groomed them, they will become useful to you in the future as their mentor, because they already have value to add to you. And at that time, you will not need to hire them at the rate at which you hire somebody that you didn't know before, because they're already there with you. So that encouragement you give to them now will play a long way. It go a long way in helping to keep them, encourage them, and help them to add value to themselves. And what is more, when you encourage them, tell them things that will encourage them. Congratulate them for things they have done well, and help them to see how to go about issues that they didn't get correctly, and they will become better off in the future. In this way, young professionals will be encouraged. They will be moved to want to practice. They will have the zeal in them to want to practice, irrespective of what comes their way. Let us take up this and see that we help to grow the industry here in Nigeria and anywhere in the world. I'll be here next time to tell you some more things about the construction industry. And until then, remain cool.